Welcome to today's webcast, the top 10 ways ShareVault secures your confidential documents better than anyone else. My name is John Badger, co-founder and VP of Marketing and Product here at ShareVault. Today we're going to be reviewing 10 of the ways in which ShareVault secures your confidential documents. We give this webcast because many prospective customers are surprised at not only the extent to which we are able to secure and protect content, but also the ease of use that ShareVault provides. Today you're going to see that live because most of what you'll see is a live on-screen demo of ShareVault in action. This will take less than 30 minutes total. Your audio is muted to avoid background noise, so if you have a question, please type it into the question box and we'll answer it at the end. You will receive an email from us in a few days when the webcast recording is available. First, a bit of a backgrounder on ShareVault. We launched ShareVault in 2006, and since then we've become a leading virtual data room provider with over 75,000 users and with customers in over 43 countries worldwide. Our platform is known for combining bank-grade security features with a speedy, responsive, and easy-to-use user interface. Our outstanding customer support team is available 24/7 to assist you with any questions that you or your end users might have. Okay, so let's take a look at the 10 ways ShareVault secures your confidential documents. Remember that when you're sharing documents with third parties, your documents are going to be accessed on computers over which your IT department has no control. So keep in mind that all of these security controls need to be provided over the internet. We will look at each of these 10 in detail, and for all but the last 3 here, which can't be demonstrated, we'll be showing you on screen during the demo how these work in ShareVault. Okay, so let's start with number 1, granular permissioning. Permissioning is defined as who has the rights to see which documents. Permissions can be set at the group/folder level, which makes it quick and easy to set permissions for many users across large groups of documents. Also, ShareVault supports permission overrides, which can be applied at the user and/or document level so that you can handle special cases with ease. You'll see during the demo how easy it is to quickly and easily set up your permissions and how easy it is to make changes to permissions for staging. Staging, or the ability to modify permissions as your project progresses through phases of increasing trust with the other party, is a very important capability of a solution such as this. Number 2, customizable document security policies. Since permissions are basically an on-off switch, in other words, a user either has permission to access a document or not, the next question is, what can a user who has permission to a document actually do? That's where a security policy comes into play. Most sharing platforms that allow for policies are limited to just view, print, and save. But with ShareVault, your policies are fully customizable. During the demo, you'll see not only how easy it is to customize a policy with a few clicks, but also how you can apply those policies quickly and easily with simple batch operations that make it so that you can easily stage your policies as trust with the other party increases. For example, you might want to grant users the right to print certain documents as the project moves into later stages. Number 3, watermarking. Watermarks provide a simple yet effective security mechanism. ShareVault applies customized dynamic watermarks automatically. If you allow your end users to print documents, then ShareVault watermarks can provide a strong deterrent against circulating those printed documents, since the user's identity is shown in large text diagonally across every page in a way that does not interfere with the readability of the underlying text. Again, during the demo, you'll not only see how quick and easy it is to configure your customized watermarks as ShareVault administrator, but we'll also show you how they look for your end users, and how the watermark will automatically change based on the identity of the user who's currently viewing the document. Number 4, secure printing. In some cases, the party that you're sharing documents with will insist on being able to print. For example, lawyers in later stages of a project will want printed copies of contracts to review, mark up, and take notes. Knowing that a user could just print the document to PDF, how do you maintain control over the electronic version of the document while allowing for print? ShareVault actually provides for this capability, and most other secure document sharing platforms do not. We can allow for printing to a physical printer while preventing virtual printers that, for example, print to PDF or other document file formats, so that you keep control of the shared files. Note that if you don't have this capability, then granting print rights is the same as granting save rights, since even novice computer users know how to print to PDF. During the demo, we'll show you how this works, and we'll also show you how Secure Print is integrated with our powerful batch print feature. Number 5, remote shredding. Most customers of ShareVault initially do not want users to save the documents. However, in some applications, the ability to save documents can significantly improve the time it takes to review the documents. This is particularly true for very large documents such as clinical trial results, which might be many thousands of pages in a single document. Our competition will recommend breaking large documents into smaller chunks so that reviewers don't have to load the document every time they want to open it in order to continue reading. With ShareVault, however, you can allow users to save sensitive large documents to their desktop so that they can instantly open it whenever they want to continue reading. But then you can actually remotely shred the documents whenever you want. In other words, you can retroactively revoke a user's right to open a document even if they've already downloaded it. That gives you ongoing control over documents that have been shared with your third parties. ShareVault's powerful information rights management, abbreviated IRM, is based on AES 256 encryption. To open a previously downloaded document, a user has to be logged in to ShareVault, still be a member of your ShareVault, and still have permission to the document. If any of these criteria are not met, the document won't open, and if it's already open, it will close. Many people don't even think that remote shredding is possible until the mechanism is explained. Another capability that surprises people is number 6, screenshot blocking. ShareVault's ability to prevent screenshots. Screenshots can be blocked on both Mac and PC under Windows, not only using the native screen capture, like, for example, Alt Print Screen on Windows, but also other screen capture products like Snagit, as well as the ability to block screen sharing programs such as GoToMeeting. We even prevent screenshots on our iOS app and on our upcoming Android app. Number 7, two-factor authentication. You've probably seen this in your bank's internet site or other secure websites. You'll receive a special code sent by text message to your cell phone. Well, ShareVault uses a similar approach, and for users who want to use ShareVault from locations not having cell phone coverage, we also are compatible with the Google Authenticator app on iOS, Android, Windows Phone, or BlackBerry. So you can use your device to provide the authentication. Information security experts generally consider two-factor authentication as a must-have security feature because it makes it so much harder for a hacker to gain unauthorized access to a site through an authorized user account. A hacker would not only need to know the user's password or security question, but would also have to gain access to the user's mobile phone. Number 8, multi-level encryption. With ShareVault, your files are encrypted at each stage of the document's lifecycle through ShareVault. During upload and download, files are encrypted in transit using 256-bit SSL encryption. While files are at rest within ShareVault storage, they are encrypted at rest, also with 256-bit encryption. As most information security experts know, the most critical aspect of data security is the key management. ShareVault's key management workflow makes it so that only the intended ShareVault users can open your files. A person accessing the ShareVault backend servers is not able to open your files. This means that employees of ShareVault or of our data centers are not able to access files. So even though ShareVault employees that have backend access all have undergone background checks, information security auditors can rest assured that their data is protected even against rogue employees. And as we've already discussed, the ShareVault doesn't stop with encryption in transit and encryption at rest. The IRM protected files, again, IRM means information rights management, also continue to be protected on your end users' computers. We call this persistent encryption provided by our IRM technology, encryption at the edge. So your content is protected throughout your project's lifecycle. Number 9, secure and reliable cloud infrastructure. ShareVault is available to all of your users worldwide because it's based in the cloud. We've invested heavily to ensure that ShareVault's infrastructure is both reliable, so you can count on our 99% uptime, 99.99, so 49% uptime, but also it's hardened with audited best practices that provide the security that our customers expect from us, including the applicable certifications. And last but not least, number 10, customer managed encryption keys. ShareVault will be announcing shortly the availability of customer managed keys. For the information security folks in the crowd, you'll know how important this is for ultra-secure enterprise applications. The encryption keys are basically long, complex numbers kept in a secure virtual vault in the cloud. Without the proper key, a file cannot be decrypted, and the keys themselves are encrypted using a sophisticated workflow that you can think of as steel pipes through which the keys flow from the vault to the appropriate process within ShareVault that encrypts or decrypts your files. And then each time a key is retrieved from the vault and used, it is immediately destroyed and never stored except in the vault. The beautiful thing about ShareVault's implementation of customer managed keys is that unlike our competitors who offer this advanced feature, it's totally transparent to you. There's no need for your IT department to get involved in setting up and managing a hardware security module like our competitors require. Okay, enough PowerPoint. Let's jump into ShareVault itself and show you how simple we've made it to provide this high degree of security. So I'm going to switch over here to being an administrator in Google Chrome, and I'll log in to ShareVault. Oops, looks like I had my caps lock on. And I'm going to go into Acme Inc., which is a demo ShareVault. Okay, so let's kind of step through each of these. The granular permissioning. Okay, so this is ShareVault. Over on the left here are your hierarchical tags. You can think of them as folders where you can find various types of documents. For example, there are 8 documents under taxes. Here are the 8 documents. And what I'm going to do is show you how permissioning works. So I can select a tag like taxes here, and we'll look at the permissions. So basically what you do is you put a checkbox next to each of the user groups that you would like to have access to this particular tag, or the documents that are in that tag, I should say. And you'll notice here, we'll talk about policies in a minute, but you can see the policies. So that's how you set permissions. So if I want to add Barrow's group here to be able to view this, I just hit apply, and boom, we've just changed the permissions for that tag. Then at the file level, in fact, you can see here that O icon indicates that this file actually has its own specific permissions. You can actually drill down and set the permissions on a file level all the way down to which individual users can view it or not view it. So that's the granularity of being able to set permissions within ShareVault. So I can come in here and add just this one user to that one document. So very highly granular permissioning. In fact, if I go over, this is called the Documents page, where documents are presented, and so I've been able to change the permissions on that particular tag. Now let's go ahead and look at the Users and Groups tab, which also allows you to set permissions on a group level. So I can select a group such as Galaxy Enterprises, and then I can come down here and set which actual tags, or you can think of them as folders, that a user is allowed to see. And again, I can set the policy as well. So I can go ahead and hit apply, and I've just changed the permissions. I've just changed the permissions for Galaxy Enterprise to allow for access to this collateral section. Okay, so that is permissions. And again, a permission is like an on-off switch. You either have the right to view documents or you don't. Then we have this concept of policies, and here you can see the policy. So for these documents, I can allow for printing, for example. So by default, it brought up view only, but I can change it to allow printing. And there are different levels of policies. So I can actually set those policies here, and this is one of these ease of use factors that's really appreciated by customers who use ShareVault, is you can come in here and create a new policy, and you can just kind of go down and set what you want the security policy to be. And you can turn on and off each of these different security attributes independently, and it allows you to kind of set just the right degree of security for different types of content, for different types of users. Very, very flexible and super easy to use. So I'll go ahead and delete that policy, and you'll see here that this view only policy here is the default, and basically it has everything checked here. We're going to come back and talk about disabled screenshots in a little bit. Okay, so now this is a nice segue, since we're on this page, to talk about watermarking, which is number 3. This is where you configure your watermark, right? And the watermark is printed diagonally across each page. You're going to see what it looks like shortly when I log in as an end user. So it'll be diagonally printed across each page for those users who have a policy that includes a watermark. And you can see that you can actually put the user's identity into the text of the watermark. So it's fully customizable. And what I'll do is just change this to highly confidential, and you'll see that that change gets implemented right away. So now let's go ahead and log in as an end user so you can see what that looks like. So I'm going to switch over here to another browser, Firefox. By the way, I'm logged in on a Mac. Everything works just fine on a Mac, which is quite nice, but it also obviously works just the same way on Windows. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll cancel out of this and go into the login page here and log in as an end user. So I'll go into that same ShareVault, Acme Inc. For end users, we've got this set up so that a confidentiality agreement is shown before the user accesses the ShareVault, so I get shown that. It's actually a security feature in itself. And now I'm logged in as an end user, and I can view these various documents. So now let's talk about what it's like to view a document. So I'm going to click on this document here, and it opens in the secure web viewer, and as you'll notice, there's watermarks printed on each page as I scroll through. And what I can do is take you through the printing activity. So actually, this document is blocked from printing. I'm not allowed to print this file. So I'm going to jump down into financials, which is allowed for printing. So I can just click on financials, and that's going to bring up the financials information. And so let's click on this file here, and it'll open the secure web viewer. And you can see again there's the watermarks on it, and this file is allowed for printing. So if I go to the print icon, I click on that, and that's going to open it in a secure document viewer which prints it. Okay, so this secure document viewer exists for both Windows and Mac, and it doesn't require administrative rights to install it, so it'll install nicely in a secure corporate environment like banks or large pharmaceutical companies. So I can go ahead and print this document, or I can cancel it and just view it in this high-speed document viewer. So that's the secure printing capability, and that also works in terms of batch print. So let me show you how our unique batch print feature works. Let's say that I want to select, I'm just holding my shift key, so I've just selected 5 files here. Okay, I can download them as a zip file if I have the rights to download these files. We'll talk about how secure download works in a minute, or I can print them. So I'm going to go ahead and click the print button, and it brings up this nice little dialog box that allows me to kind of customize my printed booklet. So I can include a table of contents, I can print page numbers on each page of the booklet, and I can include separator pages between the individual documents. These 5 individual documents will be each separated by separator pages. All right, so I've kind of made myself a customized encrypted document, and that's going to be sent to the printing operation, and I'm allowed to print this document. You can see that it's got the watermark. This is the table of contents here for the 5 documents I had selected. But you'll notice that if I cancel this, it'll actually close the document. It only allows me to print it, so it's very, very secure. So that, I've shown you how the secure printing capability exists. This is still the document that I had opened previously. And in fact, let's take this document and save it. So I have the right to save this document, but as you'll see, it's being saved with that remote shredding capability. So I'm going to go ahead and save this document, and now what I'm going to do is open the document. So let me close it, and I go out to my desktop. I click here, I double click on it, and it opens the document. That's because I'm logged into the ShareVault and I still have the rights. So now let me go over to, as an administrator, to here, and I'm going to change permissions so that that user no longer has the right to view the document. So that document was in financials, so I'm going to select the financials tag under permissions, and the user who's logged in is in the group Worthington Capital. So I'm going to take Worthington Capital out and hit apply. So now Worthington Capital no longer has the right to view that document. And now I'm going to review here, I'm going to return to that document, and it's told me that I no longer have permissions to view the document. So it's instant. As soon as you withdraw somebody's rights to view the document, it will be forced to be closed. So very, very high degree of security. And now let me actually take you through that screenshot blocking capability. So again, as an administrator, I'm going to come over here to the Administrators tab, and I'm going to turn on this feature called Disable Screenshots, and I'm going to apply it to all 3 of these just to be sure. And then what I'm going to do is switch back over to being an end user, and I'm going to open another document. So let's go down here. Let's see here. Oops, that's right. It's because, sorry about that, I had removed the right to view financials, so I need to kind of put that back. So I'll put financials, select financials, I go to permissions, and I put Worthington Capital back in, apply, and now let me go back to here, hit refresh, and there's the financials documents. Let's click on this one this time. So now I open this document, and I can see the document. I know you can't. You see a gray box, but I can see it. And the reason that you guys out there see a gray box where I can see the document is because that screenshot blocking mechanism is working. The screenshot blocking mechanism uses the exact same mechanism that the screen sharing application uses. So if I try to share the screen with somebody else who's not really allowed to view the document, it's not going to work. So that's the ShareVault screenshot blocking at work, and we've got that implemented on Mac, as you can see here, also on Windows, also on iOS, and on Android. So we really have the ability to really block screenshots. So at this stage, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up and move to see if there are any questions out there. So if you have any questions for me about ShareVault, or actually about anything that we've discussed today, feel free to go ahead and ask them in the question box there. So let's see if anybody has any questions. Okay, here's a good one. I actually get this one a lot. What is the point of blocking screenshots if a user can just take the picture of the screen with their iPhone or with a digital camera? Well, my answer to that is you're absolutely right. We can't prevent that. But remember that there's a watermark still there that will show the user's name, and it will be visible in the photo. And the other thing to keep in mind is that security is actually not an absolute concept. It's a matter of putting up as many barriers as possible and making it more inconvenient for the theft to take place. As an example, we all lock our desk file cabinets if we have sensitive documents, even though we all know it's trivial to pry open a file cabinet with a screwdriver and a hammer. It takes a few seconds, and you can get to a person's locked files. So that's an important thing to keep in mind when it comes to security. And then here's another question, actually similar vein. Can't users just print documents and then scan them in to a PDF? And the answer is yeah, you can print out a document and scan it in, no question about that. Secure print, our secure print mechanism, is just yet another barrier that makes it more difficult, but they're all just deterrents. You can think of it that way. And we've actually gone a minute over time, but I'm going to handle this one last question because this is a good one. It says here, you said that with customer managed keys, ShareVault employees cannot gain access to customer documents. Does that mean that ShareVault that do not have customer managed keys can be viewed by ShareVault employees? And the answer is yes, you're absolutely right. I think the answer to that question is, again, the same. But on the other hand, we do have security policies that require us to, when we hire someone who goes into ShareVault's support group or any other role that requires access to our back end, they are all screened for background checks and so on. It's just a nature of how working for ShareVault is. On the other hand, for those customers who really have a degree of security that they can't allow that kind of access, we can certainly implement customer managed keys, which is a very powerful feature. And I've got two more questions that have just been asked, so I'll go ahead and cover those to finish up here. Which security features work with media files? So that's a great question. Any file that can be converted to PDF will have security features, all the security features that I mentioned. Many of the security features, however, which I mentioned, are unique to documents that can be converted to PDF. So if it's, for example, a video or an audio file, then the user would need to download those files to their desktop, and then it would play from there. But it would not be protected, and looks like the person just responded. Let's see, the next question is the metadata for print and scan would not match, so you would be able to prove it wasn't a document they had saved. That's a good point. So, I think this question kind of gets down to from a point of view of investigating what happened when a document surfaces out there that shouldn't have gotten out, is that it would be clear that the person kind of stepped through or took significant steps to get through the security hoops, and that kind of further implicates the user because of the amount of work that they went through. It's kind of like breaking and entering versus just opening an unlocked door. Is a big difference in consequences. So that's a good security-related question as well. We've gone about 3 minutes over time. Apologize for that, but I think we had some really good questions here, and I want to thank everybody for taking the time to join ShareVault's security webcast. We do a webcast every month in a different vein, different types of specific feature functionality aspects of ShareVault. So be sure to tune in to our next one, which will cover the speed of due diligence and how ShareVault helps to accelerate due diligence. Okay, thank you very much. Bye.